All right, what's up everybody? This is a out of my norm video. I've been putting this video off for a very long time because I kept saying I would make it when we were done and we're never gonna be done. That's what it feels like. I mean, it's close to sort of not really done. We're living in it now. We've been living in it, so my kid's not here, my wife's not here. I have a very small moment in time by myself, so I figured I'd make the video. It's a mess in here. We are not done. There's tools everywhere. Not everything has a home. Christmas just finished, so we put the tree up, but my son's room is filled to the brim with toys, more like just junk. We got the first portion of the deck finished. So it just felt like time I finally just post something, just because I've been wanting to make the video and I just haven't, because it feels like we're never gonna finish. So I've got some stuff that I still got to do, and I'll make videos on that. And I have some old videos of us getting it set up and unfolded, so I'll post those. I don't know if you could tell, I'm sure you've seen them online, but this is a expandable container house is what they call it. It's more or less a, what is it? It's like 18 by 8 for the main structure, and then when it unfolds, it's about 21 feet wide. So it's right at 400 square feet. So I'm gonna take you in. It's a mess, and I'm gonna do a walkthrough and just give a kind of overview of whatever comes to mind as far as things that I did when we were setting it up and things that I plan on doing and just the such. So come on in. I'm also still getting over the flu, so that doesn't help either. All right, okay, I also have a ton of cats. They usually are not in the house, but Princess and Bean are in here, so I'm sure they'll yap. All right, so let me zoom this out some to more normal. All right, so this is the main living area. It's kind of living room, my junk, kitchen, all in one. The house actually came with these bottom cabinets, countertops, the appliances. It came with all that, and we are using it for now, and they're semi-good. All of the cabinets are soft close. Same thing with the drawers, they're soft close drawers. All right, I'm going to start over here with the TV just because it's closest to the door. I'm actually not going to start with the TV. So I finally added curtains everywhere, and I have come to absolutely love that all of the walls in here are metal. So that's magnetic, that's magnetic. I did have to combine two of these rods together with a piece that I designed and 3D printed, because this door is extra wide. This door also opens, so this entire front section does open if you need to move in furniture or whatever, which is nice to have, but not something you have to use on a daily basis. Same thing over here. All of the curtain rods are just magnetic. They just stick to the wall, which is really nice. I guess I'll start with the TV, like I said. So this TV, I think it's a 55-inch. I could probably squeeze a little bigger. This is what we already had in the old house, so this is what I brought over. This one, all I did, oh, there's the Xbox. It is held on with magnets. I don't know if you can tell, but this is just a regular TV mount, like a telescopic TV mount that you can get wherever, and it is nut riveted to the wall. That's what I did for a lot of stuff. So the TV's just nut riveted to the wall. The Xbox is up there in a little magnetic mount. The hooks here are magnetic. This couch, I'm long-term trying to optimize the usable space in here. So this couch has storage. It is semi-tiny, but it also folds out, so this slides out and this comes out. So if we're actually using it, it's usually unfolded so that we can all fit on it. I have two mini splits in here. The other one is in the our main bedroom. I wish I would have went bigger. I intentionally got two 110 volt instead of 220s, and they're only 9,000. They do fine. I just wish I had a little bit more headroom because it gets really hot here in the summer. So I mean, we've had like 90 something degree days and it's been totally fine. I'm only concerned when it gets way over 100. So we'll see how that plays out. My desk is not done. It is an absolute disaster. I really need to get a smaller computer case because it takes up entirely too much room. Let's see. The fridge, it's more or less an apartment fridge. I kind of wish that we'd have got a bigger fridge now that it's all said and done. I was originally going to put an oven over there, so I tried to leave extra space and I was going to try and cram it all in. In the end, we actually ended up just getting a stovetop like oven, and we used the crap out of it and I love it, so I don't plan on getting a standalone apartment oven. So I kind of wish I got a bigger fridge, and I may get a bigger fridge in the future. The microwave was supposed to be temporary there, but I actually kind of like it up there, so it may end up staying there. The rest of it needs to find a home. Same thing over here. I put curtains on every window. They are all just magnetic, so it's easy to take on and off. We have shelving just all over the place, all magnetic. Our stove is just like a tabletop stove. This cabinet did not come with the house, and I really can't even take claim for it. My grandpa built this for us. I was supposed to help and I didn't get around to it, and he just kind of did all of it, so I'm extremely grateful for that. This helps a ton. We pretty much just now hung it up, so I don't have anything in it yet, but we're going to move a lot of stuff around. It is also just nut riveted to the wall. This is just a support board, and then the actual cabinet is nut riveted to the wall quite a few places, and it is extremely sturdy. I'm not worried about it at all. I've also got these little magnetic motion lights underneath, so at night I don't have to mess with anything. The paper towel holder, same thing, just magnetic. Love it. Can't be much easier than that. It's probably a mess under here. I told you all the appliances and stuff came with the house, and it was even pre-plumbed. It came with all the hoses, the holes through the wall were drilled, everything comes in underneath the bathroom, and then it's just distributed out through this single wall over here. Okay, a modification that I made that I ran into pretty early on that has to do with the oven and the stove is I added an extra outlet up here. I also did the same thing behind the TV here, so I don't know if you'll be able to see, but I added some extra outlets. It was super easy. All I did was tap into the outlets on the other side of the wall. So the main power for the house was already pre-wired. There's 4 breakers. This outer wall is all one breaker, but it's also this outlet on that breaker. So if you were to run the oven and the stove at the same time on both of them on high, it could trip the breaker. And there is an outlet in the bathroom up there. That is supposed to be for your hot water heater. I did not do an electric hot water heater, so since that was the only outlet on that breaker, I tapped into that one, brought it across, and so the oven is on its own breaker, the stove is on its own breaker. That is also shared with the fridge, my computer, and whatever. But so that alleviated that problem. Extremely simple. Didn't have to really redo much. I just added an outlet that was on the other breaker, and that solved that minor issue. Let's see, I guess I'll go in the bathroom. I really didn't modify much in here. It is a disaster because we've been sick, but same thing. This came pre-installed, soft closed doors. Same thing with this, pre-installed, soft closed doors. All of the plumbing was already done. This would be your hot water, cold in and hot water out for the hot water heater if you were to mount in here. I didn't do that, so I just capped them. Didn't have to do much. The shower came pre-installed. It's overall pretty good quality. I did have to reseal the base of the shower. Whatever silicone they used was not good, and I did have a small leak, so I did have to address that. But otherwise, not a lot of issues with that. Let's see, what else in the living area? My brain is all over the place, so I will forget things, I am sure. I don't know. I guess I'll show you my son's room. It is a absolute tornado in here because it just finished with Christmas. He didn't even make his bed. Okay. That's the outlet I tapped into up there. I'm using that to run his computer and a few other things. Wow, I have tools in here too. His room is a disaster, but same thing. Like, we have magnetic shelves kind of all over the place for him to decorate and whatever else. And this bed I intentionally sized and got specifically for this. I'm a little on the taller side, so this probably looks shorter than it is. This is a little over 5 feet tall right here to the bottom. So for him, he never has to worry about hitting his head. My wife barely even has to duck, so, and it still leaves him with quite a bit of room on the top. Let's see what else. I guess I'll go in our room, which is also a disaster because we have not finished finding homes for things. So this is the other mini split. I went ahead and put it in our room because I wanted my wife to be able to make it whatever she wanted, whenever she wanted, at, you know, whatever the temperature is outside. The TV in our master room is strictly held on with magnets. I actually got some stud magnets and screwed it into like the vase mount holes on the back of the TV, so it just is plopped on the wall, and that saved me a ton of time. Eventually I'm probably going to get a bigger TV, and I will do the nut rivets like I did in the living area, but for now, I mean, that saved me a ton of time. The bed has drawers that we use for storage, mainly for clothes. We've got this armoire. This is also for clothes and stuff, but we have not finished doing any of that. And I have a ton of clothes that need a home, Christmas stuff, truck parts. I mean, I just have stuff all over the place. So it's kind of a disaster in here too. Come on, Bean. Yeah. All right. What else? Trying to think. It pretty much came with everything. The lights came with it. I did have to wire those in, but it came with the lights. It came with the cabinets and all the appliances and hoses. And another thing, I guess I'll talk about things I wish I would have done. So I wish I would have peeled all this off the wall before I got going. I left it intentionally because I was like, oh, I'll protect the walls, and now it is going to be an absolute pain to remove it all. And I have only done a few sections. There's a few spots in our room that where the cabinets are I've removed, but like as you can tell, there is a ton that I have not removed. What else? Oh, sealing it. So all of the seams, I don't even know why I sat down as if that was going to matter. You really can't tell, but on the outside, this is bolted to the roof, this wall is bolted to the roof, and it already came pre-sealed with weather stripping. But if I could go back in time, I would have siliconed everything while the walls were still up before I folded them down, because that would have been the best time to access it. We did have a small leak on the roof, which I was fully expecting when we put it together. It was really easy to fix. It really wasn't a big deal. And then I had like a few really small leaks on the first storm for where all the walls sealed together, but it was down there in the corner. Same thing. It was super easy to fix. And if I would have preemptively thought about it and done it before we unfolded it, it would have never been an issue. So that's something I wish I would have done. I kind of got antsy and just wanted it done. Let's see. Also, if you're wondering about this, I ran this for the Christmas tree. I didn't want to do anything permanent, but I may eventually try and add an outlet over here from the bathroom side like I did with the other ones. So that's something I may do. Trying to think. I feel like I touched on mostly everything. A lot of the other stuff would be outside stuff, which I was planning on doing another video, but I guess I'll just take you outside and try and do an overview. The outside is so far from being done, and it is an absolute disaster. There's another kitty. And another kitty. Alright, so the mini splits are the same on both sides. We made these brackets with adjustable legs to level them out, and then if I ever need to move the house when we buy some property, which is kind of how I set it up, it will all just unbolt. Everything is just kind of nut riveted. The mini split is nut riveted to the bracket's nut riveted to the frame of the house, so you can just unbolt it, remove it. This is one of the bolts I was talking about that hold the roof to the wall. Same thing on the other side. There. I was talking about, I guess I didn't touch on the windows. The windows are actually really nice on this thing. I was really surprised. All right, so this is the unfinished project obviously. But so the only thing that is gas is my hot water heater. I wanted a tankless. I did not want to go back to a small tank, and I didn't want to do an electric tankless, so I did a propane hot water heater outside. It is just tapped straight into the box, and then we nut riveted on some brackets to hold all of this. The house is actually set up on 240, so this is the main in for the house where it was pre-wired. We have added that into this box, but the main is 240 and it is not wired in because I'm actually going to bury the power wire long term. But anyway, it is 240 in, and then I've got, well, I haven't even added all the breakers. I still have headroom, but the mini splits are all each on their own breaker. The house is on its own breaker. The hot water heater is shared with one of the mini splits, I think is how I did that, because it uses hardly anything. But yeah, so we have a lot of headroom on power. I mean, like way more than this is ever going to use. It really doesn't use a whole lot. I'm trying to think of anything I could think of. I guess long term, I can kind of go over the deck. The deck is going to finish, hi buddy, is going to finish coming all the way over and then wrap around the side of the house, and I'm going to install the washer and dryer on the wraparound part of the deck. That way it'll be easy to run power and water to it, which we have plenty of headroom to do. Oh my goodness, I am falling all over the place because of my cats. Wow, I am really trying to think because I know I'm missing stuff, and this is why I should have done videos as I went, but it feels like a overwhelming unfinished project. We did all of this in a very short amount of time, and we still have so much left to do because we have so much stuff, and trying to downsize it into this has been a challenge. Totally doable though, and if I'm gonna be honest, after living in it a few months, it's really not that small. I mean, it definitely is small, don't get me wrong. If you're used to a 3,000 square foot house, this is quite the adjustment, but everybody has their own space. I never feel like I'm breathing down somebody's neck, and all of the major like priority things that you need are all here. The washer and dryer is the only thing that's going to have to go outside, and it's still not like far away or hard to get to or anything like that. But long term, once I finish it all, we will have plenty of storage. I have a place to play my games and work. My son has his own room, and really it's relatively spacious when it's not an absolute disaster. He is spoiled and has too many things. Our master bedroom, same thing. We really only sleep in there, watch TV, get dressed, whatever. So it really has plenty of room in there. We just have so much stuff that needs to finish finding a home. The fridge is a little small, like I touched on, but really there's plenty of room to get a bigger fridge. I wish I would have. I just had this whole plan in my head, and that was one of the things that changed as we went. All right, I just did a majorly long outro of me rambling, and it was me pointing the camera, staring at the wall, which is probably not ideal for you guys. I'm not very good on camera, so I tend not to stare at it and point it at me. But that being said, I think I'm just gonna round it off by saying I want you guys to ask questions. I'm sure I've missed a lot of stuff, especially small stuff. I think I touched on all the major stuff, but a lot of small stuff that I did or changed or whatever, I'm sure I missed. So I want you guys to ask questions. That's kind of the whole point of this. If you're looking at one, or if you've seen one, if it's just out of curiosity, whatever it is, this has been an extremely fun project for me. So I'm really curious to see what other people think or want to know. And those are things that I can help with. So I talk too much, and I'm going to try not to talk, so I'm just going to end it with that. If you guys have questions, I want you to ask. Let me know what you think or want to see or want to know, or just whatever. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to try and get more content on this. Like I said, it feels like an overwhelming, never-ending project, so it's hard to film and not feel like it is a disaster in here. I mean, I know you saw it is a disaster in here. So yeah, ask questions. That's what I'm gonna end it with. If you guys want to know or see or do, ask away. Princess. Say bye. Okay, you're not gonna say bye.